high school for me was really challenging.
When I first entered high school, I mean, I've always known that I've been a lesbian since I was in first grade. And when I went to high school, I tried really hard to be popular because that seemed like the only thing to do. I just wanted friends. I wanted to fit in. And in Indiana, that's kind of what it's like there. It's very suburban lifestyle. You know, you have to fit in.
I remember this occasion where people just kept on asking me why I don't have a girlfriend or whatnot. And I had to lie. I had to lie that I did have a girlfriend. I had to make a girlfriend up. I even had to date a girl.
I went to a school where I was all 12 years with the same group of girls. It was an all-girls school and there were only 50 of us. So when I got to high school and I realized that I was gay, it was really hard for me to even think about changing my image or be someone new. So it wasn't really even an option for me. Even though I was in kind of a liberal community, I still was pretty scared to come out, so I didn't. And instead, I was kind of one of those people that would make fun of people that were supposed to be gay. I would never go to any meetings that were LGBT oriented at all.
It was a little hard still because sometimes the language of sports, especially when you're young, had words like faggot and queer as a way to put down. So even though I was openly gay, it was a little bit difficult trying to balance that part because that language were used by friends, and so it was really hard for me growing up, and sometimes I lost the motivation sometimes to play and come out to do sports or just be myself with friends.
All the guys that I really wanted approval from would call me a lesbian all the time. They'd spread rumors that I was a lesbian, and I became very depressed about it. I hated myself. I mean, just saying the words "I am gay" out loud, I would start to cry.
Because I was different, a lot of people like to point it out. You know, people would mention that I'm a little effeminate, would act different. I was in all the school choir stuff and school musicals, all that kind of thing, and I don't know, had a different way about myself, or a different way of thinking, and in the challenges that came out of it, I mean, there wasn't a day that went by that, or even a break between class periods or walking down the hall, someone wouldn't say faggot, or I'd open my locker to find that someone had filled it with some kind of lotion or whatever, damaging my books and, all that kind of stuff. It was very trying for me, and I think the hardest part, aside from like people calling names and things like that, was the fact that I actually believed the insults.
I can tell you from my friends in high school who want to take another girl to prom, who maybe were different because they had short hair, they were different because they were of color, they were different because they wore chains around their necks, or they liked wearing torn pants. If you're gay or you're straight or you're a lesbian, you're transgender, you're a person of color, you're poor, you're rich, high school is a very hard time for kids, generally speaking. And you have to embrace the good things that happen in high school, and you have to take the bad things that happen in high school with a grain of salt, because once you get to, I'm only 26, but I know I can tell you when I get to 26, I think, wow, high school went by so fast, and everybody's life gets better when you get older.
The minute I was out of high school, I was in college, and I was meeting a lot of diverse groups of friends, and you're basically with your same age group, so a lot of people are open to new ideas and focus, and it doesn't mean you have to be the jock or the nerd. You could be the jock nerd, you could be the cool hipster queer kid, and that to me was an amazing thing.
I joined a completely different group of people. I was playing sports, and after about a year I realized that I could completely remake my image and start over fresh, and after I convinced myself, I had to think about it, and I was like, is anyone going to be upset? Am I going to hurt anyone? I was really scared about hurting my family and my friends, but when I came out, I kind of found that either people already knew or they loved me for who I was and they didn't really care. So I ended up wishing that I had had the strength to come out earlier, because looking back, it really ended up being a lot better than I thought it would be.
It took a while, but I went to group counseling that they offered there for free. And just going there for about a year, I got all this confidence. I came out to one person, and then I just came out to them all, and it just gave me it made me such a better person, and I was happy, and just it surprised me how accepting people are once you tell them and they know you already.
Life after high school was just night and day difference. You know, I straight from high school I went into the professional working force. You know, working for a large corporation, working in computers, because you know. When I wasn't going to school social events, I was playing on my computer and developing my skills. So anyway, started working in the corporate field. Found people that were also different like me, had crazy personalities and everything like that. You know, people that were different and enjoyed it. You know, moving to a bigger city made a huge difference as well. And it was nice to be able to walk down the halls at work and not have people call me names. Not, first of all, because, well, they'd have a problem with HR, but also because no one cared. No one cared that I was different. They cared that I did a good job. They cared that I was smart, that I was nice to them, and so they were nice back. And it was nice to move into kind of the adult world where what I could do and the thoughts and abilities that I had were far more important than who I went home to at night.
It got really better where it became almost an afterthought. I wasn't just, the gay soccer player or whatnot. I was just Danny to my friends, and I feel as you grow older, the language of maturity, the trash talking, didn't convey on a level of, you're a fag or whatnot. It was more based on skill, and I appreciated that.
When you find that when you get into a bigger pool of people, there are so many people who are like you. For me, my saving grace was rugby. In college, I love my teammates. I think rugby, generally speaking, is a community from a girl's perspective that is really embracing of differences, because it's kind of like a motley crew of athletes and non-athletes that just got in to something because it looked fun and it looked rugged and it looked dangerous or whatever.
The Fog has been just really great for me, because it kind of came full circle where I could come around and be truly who I was, and I love sports, I love the team, and it became a really big open family, because we're not just the gay rugby team. We're a family. We have straight, gay, lesbian, young, old, guys in their 50s who just started playing rugby, guys who are just barely turning 21.
It's something that you can't find anywhere else, and just everyone is so close. You're bonded by this thing that you all share in common. It's this huge thing that just makes you the family that you are, and that's what I absolutely love about the Fog that I have never been able to find anywhere else.
This has been kind of the first space that I've been in that has actively pursued differences. The LGBT community specifically, but also, San Francisco is known as a city of like different people, but how you find people who are really embracing that is hard. And the Fog has been amazing at that. It's something that we actively do, whether it's because you're an athlete or not athlete, because you're gay or you're straight or you're questioning or whatever it is, whether you like to dress up in drag on the weekends and wear a suit during the week. This community and this environment has been kind of mind-boggling for me, and it's the reason that I've gotten more and more involved, not just as an athlete, but also as a person who wants to, serve the community at large and do something better.
Coming to the Fog, I actually just kind of started hanging out with the Fog, doing a couple of their events, and I really loved like how everyone was a different person, but was also so accepting of each other, so supportive. I mean, it's this crazy, kooky family of people that are kind of a bunch of misfits, but somehow it's like when you step out onto the pitch and you get into a play situation, all of that melts away, and you're just there to play, have a good time, and support each other, and that's really amazing to me. Especially, kind of going back to me being a guy of size, was going to practices, and it's like, I was not in good shape, and doing some of the runs and stuff like that, it's like people just saw that I was putting forward my best effort and would applaud me as I would come in from running a snake or from doing a drill, and teaching me to embrace who I am, not only as a gay man, but now also as a guy who is bigger, learning to use my size, use my physical power, because I was always taught that was wrong, that was bad, and I certainly had plenty of bad experiences from high school where people would get physical with me, to where I went within myself and shut that all away. So coming onto the Fog and having this amazing supportive family of just so many different people, and just expanding into the world of gay rugby in and of itself, and I imagine it's very similar for all the different gay sports leagues out there, and it's it's just great to finally be able to explore areas of myself that I had shut off basically for life.
Anybody who's getting bullied for whatever their sexual orientation is or anything like that, it's gonna get better.
If you just persevere and go for it, life does get better. It definitely does.
Don't get discouraged. It is hard. High school's really hard. You're trying to, like, you know, figure out who you want to be and what you want to do in your life, and, you know, maybe the last thing you want to have to figure out is if you're different from everyone else in a certain way, but it does get a lot better.
Embrace who you are, because when you're older, you're gonna love the fact that you embraced who you were when you were younger, and that you're getting better at who you are, and by that, you're making everybody else around you better too.
You'll realize how much happier you're going to be once you take that step to come out, just to tell that one friend, or just have someone to talk to about it, and your life will be so much better, and you'll change someone else's life. You'll change someone who didn't think about it, you know, that way until they knew you, and they realize being, you know, gay is not a bad thing. You're a great person no matter what you are.
Remind yourself that at the end of the day, there's at least one person that really likes you a lot, and beyond that, there's a lot of people around this world. I mean, you look at all the videos that have been done so far for the It Gets Better project, and that's just a small portion of the people that are out there that just love people that are different, love what you can bring to the table, love that you're original and that, you know, there's no one like you. Love yourself. You're worth it.
It gets better.
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 It